All right, you know how much we rely on our feet, but how often do we really think about their health until something goes wrong, right?
It's one of those things, yeah. Out of sight, out of mind until you stub your toe on something.
Exactly. So today we're diving deep into a local practice, Prestige Foot and Ankle Center, to get a real feel for their approach, expertise, and honestly, just what makes them tick.
More than just browsing their site, it's about understanding what they're really about and if it's the right fit for you. Because foot health is not one size fits all.
Exactly. And you know what I found interesting? They actually include a whole section explaining podiatry in general. I feel like most people, myself included, don't fully get what it entails.
It's true, people hear foot doctor and they picture what, just toenails and maybe the occasional blister,
Right, exactly.
but it's so much broader than that.
Yeah, what does podiatry cover?
Well, you've got ankle care, surgery, even the way your foot health connects to your overall system. It's surprisingly interconnected. These are doctors of podiatric medicine, DPMs, and they're licensed in all 50 states.
Wow, I actually didn't realize it was that recognized.
Yeah, this isn't some niche area.
It's legit.
It's a crucial part of healthcare everywhere, and that kind of brings us to Prestige's range. They mention both surgery and conservative care on their site, which is like, okay, what does that range actually look like in practice?
Right, huge difference between those two ends of the spectrum. Are
Yeah.
they surgery happy? Are they going to try everything else first? What's the deal?
Well, from their materials, they seem to land right in the middle. They list orthotics, custom footwear, PT, even exercise programs. That's all conservative care, prioritizing non-invasive whenever possible.
So that's like the first line of defense, and then
Exactly. Then they get into minimally invasive procedures, which could be injections, using a tiny camera internally, even some laser stuff, depending on the issue.
so they're not afraid of those techniques, but not jumping straight to them either.
Right. And what stood out to me was the line about handling complicated cases as required.
Yeah.
That says to me they're ready for stuff other places might shy away from.
Yeah, they're equipped.
Experience and tools for when you need a specialist, not just a generalist.
Reassuring, for sure. But expertise is only part of it. What about the doctors themselves, right? Time for the vibe check. I always go straight to the bios.
Absolutely. Picking a doctor isn't just about qualifications. It's who you trust, who you feel good with. Let's start with Dr. Limperos, the founder.
His bio mentioned he's big into teaching, which to me, always a good sign.
It says a lot. Medicine is always changing, so teaching means he has to stay updated.
And not just that, he helped start a wound care center at a local hospital. Like, that's dedication beyond just feet in isolation.
Totally. He's thinking holistically. Wound care often involves a whole team, not just podiatry.
Big picture. Okay, then there's Dr. Lisa Smith. I connected with her bio. She emphasizes helping patients return to their normal daily lifestyle.
I like that too. It's very patient-focused, not just fixing the problem, but getting you back to doing things.
And speaking of paths, her residency was at Western Reserve Hospital, which we'll hear about again later, I think.
Oh, good catch. That's a recurring theme.
And last but not least, Dr. Kubiak, her bio, also mentions both surgical and conservative care, so that seems core to how they operate as a whole.
Definitely not pushing one way or the other. It's what the patient needs, which is ideal. But hey, it's not all serious. Dr. Smith is a Buckeyes fan.
Oh, crucial detail. You gotta rep your team.
Huh.
Okay, so we've got their approach, but what about actually being a patient there? Going to a new doctor is anxiety-inducing sometimes.
Oh, for sure, it's the unknown.
Hmm.
But Prestige seems to get that because they have a whole section on their site about what to expect.
Yeah, they encourage you to actually read it before your appointment, which I like. Transparency, here's how we roll.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they even have downloadable forms, small thing, but shows they're thinking about your time.
Convenience matters. Speaking of their location situation, 3 locations plus hospitals, that's a lot.
Shows commitment to actually slumming the community. They've got the main office. Then they're at Medina Hospital's Wound Healing Center, which, if you recall, Dr. Limperos helped establish.
Right, so it all connects.
And then there's the Agape Podiatry acquisition, which was interesting.
Right, that stood out to me too. It sounds like they're absorbing patients whose previous doctor retired. Tell me more about that. It felt kind of compassionate, you know? Instead of those patients scrambling to find someone new, Prestige is like, we gotcha.
It's going beyond just the medical charts, right? They're thinking about the patient experience, especially for older folks who might be having a tough time with all this.
Building trust, yeah. And honestly, for another practice to trust their patients to Dr. Limperos, that says something too.
Peer recommendation, that's powerful. So we're not just talking bottom line here, but community, compassion, all that good stuff. But thinking about it all, who's the ideal Prestige patient?
Right. Like, we've got the pieces, but who's the missing piece of this puzzle, Who fits in best?
Exactly. And sometimes it's not even just fitting in, but thriving, right?
Mm.
Like we said, they can handle complicated cases, so someone who's been to a bunch of doctors, no answers, maybe that's their haven.
They don't shy away from a challenge, that's for sure.
Nope. And they seem big on patient education, empowering you to understand your own health. So someone proactive, asking questions, maybe even reads those downloadable forms we talked about that tracks.
The engaged patient, not just along for the ride.
Exactly. And remember the returning to normal life bit. That's key. Not just fixing, but restoring your ability to do things.
Active people, yeah. Jobs on their feet, athletes, anyone who relies on those feet and ankles working right.
Could be. But don't forget the agape thing. Older folks, maybe facing age-related stuff, needing consistent care, they'd resonate with this too.
It's the continuity, right? Feeling understood, especially when you need it most.
Absolutely. So not just age or how active you are, it's a mindset. Someone who values expertise, open communication, personalized care.
Hmm.
They've got that in spades at Prestige.
And a soft spot for the Buckeyes. Can't hurt.
Hey, you never know. So we've covered a lot, but what should listeners really take away about Prestige, would you say?
It's like, take all this info and see if it clicks with your priorities, right?
100%, because no website tells you how it really feels.
Think about past doctors, good or bad. What matters most to you? What are your non-negotiables? It's like finding a good therapist or something. Not every personality is a match, even if they're great at what they do.
Right, got to factor that in. You want someone warm and fuzzy above all else, or are you more, just tell me the plan, doc?
Big questions, right? Do you need every little thing explained, or are you more comfortable trusting the process?
Think back to doctors you've liked or not. What made the difference for you? That's valuable info.
Because the best podiatrist is the one who you click with, not just the one with the fanciest website.
Exactly. So that's our deep dive on Prestige Foot and Ankle Center. We went beyond the surface, looked at their whole deal.
Their approach, the doctors, what makes them stand out. Hopefully you're listening like, okay, I get them.
And you can use this as you navigate your own foot and ankle health, whatever that looks like.
Because you're the one in charge at the end of the day.
100%. With good info, a little reflection, you can find a podiatrist who doesn't just treat your feet, but makes you feel good about the whole process.
Couldn't have said it better. That's it for our deep dive today. Thanks for joining us as always.
See you next time.